So let me ask you this also. So you come alongside a lot of these businesses are, depending upon the top line, I mean, obviously 5 to 10 to $25 million, depending upon where they're at structurally and so forth. With that being said, they have a baseline of clients, right? And there's data in those clients. And as the company evolves and obviously gets wealthier and so forth and grows, et cetera, you have a bigger base of clients. And from there, I've heard some CEOs where they do that 80-20 rule. They look at it, they identify but what are their best clients, right? The ones that take less amount of time, that pay the most, and then you're able to isolate that and create an avatar, right? And the evolution of your client, if you will, and how you have to service those top tier individuals, because again, you want to maximize your profits. Are there certain tiers, if you will, when you kind of do that? Is it like every 18, 24 months where, okay, let's look back into that data, let's look into that, what are our best clients, et cetera, and really optimize and again, building an efficient business side of things? Or how do you guys structure that? Or is that not really kind of top of mind throughout the journey of, adding more clients onto the base?
You're kind of frustrating me right now and getting me upset because it's like, yes, I want that. And yes, that is wise and that is prudent and that is sophisticated leadership, right? Of what you're talking about. But one of my dear friends told me, Mike, all the fancy things you learned in Silicon Valley and reading all these great leadership books and everything, just throw it out. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you'll never get to it. He's like, you'll never get to it because you're going to be putting duct tape and super glue to hold this thing together. And what you'll realize is you actually throw up pretty good returns because you'll be surprised as to what it actually takes to make money. And it's not all that much, right? So what I mean, Christian, is this, is like, I don't think one of our companies has ever shown us the 80-20 rule, or if they have, it's been a slide and it's definitely never been actually execution that they're sitting down in their management meetings with of saying, hey, here's our top customers. We want to ensure that of our 20% of customers, 80% of our revenue, we don't want customer concentration. It's not that. It's basically, hey, we just got this phone call. It's a big contract. We're going to be sure that we execute this contract, provide them great service, be an awesome provider. And we won the contract. We made hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's awesome. And then we talk to this contract. And then now our team goes to the data and we could synthesize it and say, hey, 80% of your revenue is coming from 20%. So what I'm trying to say is almost all of it's reactive instead of proactive. All of it's almost just responding to what's happening in the business and actually having a sophisticated strategy to imply onto the business, which infuriates me and it gets me upset because one of our businesses was one of our greatest companies called Connects that installs IT hardware across companies that have hundreds or thousands of locations. So if you own thousands of grocery stores or gas stations or restaurants, you have a lot of technology all throughout there. Someone needs to install that there when you build them or renovate them or when you refresh your technology. So we have 10,000 field technicians that install that technology device, whatever, security cameras, access points, Wi-Fi, IoT, digital signage. And so I met with a company that's one of the biggest in the space. And they're a couple $100 million of revenue. We're shy of 100 million of revenue. And they're showing us top 10 customers make up 80% of our revenue. They spend X dollars per year. We're growing them by 15% a year. And I'm there thinking, God, I need to get a better leadership team in our companies. We need to change everything because this is the way a leadership team looks. They're $250 million of revenue. When we bought this company, we were shy of 50 million, right? So it's just two different things, that you scale to over time. You can't apply an enterprise strategy to a lower middle market company. And that was my pitch to my investors was, I'm going to apply all these DocuSign and Dell and Silicon Valley things and all into the lower middle market. And we're just trying to put out little fires still,
I love it, dude. I love it. So just be realistic with the situation where you're at and obviously focus on what's top of mind. And then at some point, a later stage, then you can obviously, apply those other things. It's not applicable right now. Just do what's necessary right now. So I appreciate that.
It's just true. It's true. I wish it was different. I want those. I want the sophistication. I want all that, but it's scrappy when you're making, less than $10 million a year.
Well, what I find interesting, and definitely with your years of experience, Michael, I would imagine you're able to look at a company very quickly, just like a funnel, and you're able to identify, okay, these are the tension points, and you say, okay, well, let's just focus on this for the next 18 months, like that one thing. And I'm curious, is that kind of how you guys structure it? It's like, okay, we
Kind of,
see
yeah.
maybe 7 or 10 things that could be fixed, but let's just focus on one, isolate that, let's get some data. Are we seeing the improvement? And then focus on another. Is that how you strategize?
Yes, that is where we currently are. Now, what happens is obviously whack-a-mole. So you just have to keep saying, hey, remember that one thing? Remember that one thing? Remember that one thing? Like now we're talking about three. Like, well, these other two are not that important, but I'm like, well, they're taking up a lot of time. So yes, to answer your question, it's like if you ask me about any one of my companies, I can tell you the one thing right now. Like we need a COO. We need a head of sales. We need to win and keep this customer. We need to get profitable jobs for the month of what like there is kind of the one thing versus my last enterprise role or the board I sit on of Cambia that's a $15 billion business. We have six things, right? It's also 6,000 employees with a leadership team of 24 people, right?
Mhm. I love it. I love it. Now, I want to kind of pivot a little bit toward joint venture.